I'm here with Brian Krause from Charmed, well, one of my favourite shows, so I'm just like, Charmed. But you've been involved in a whole bunch of other shows on TV, and I've seen that you're doing some directing as well. I saw in your bio, you've got something coming up.
Beginning to, yes.
Yeah?
Making a movie with an actual a homeless person, trying to put a face to it. Making a movie of that, and then also a documentary about homelessness and substance abuse and kind of how the two go together.
Okay, and how did you get involved in that? This is completely different to what all your fans kind of know you for.
Well, a friend of mine lives along kind of a green belt area where homeless have kind of, in Los Angeles, it's become a bit of an epidemic. Yeah. And he met this fellow maybe 5 years ago, and over the course of the years has kind of gotten to know him, and so has the whole neighborhood. And they've realized that he's just a normal guy like anybody else, and the whole neighborhood, their perception has kind of changed of what a homeless person is, you know, being this drug addict or alcoholic, that he's actually this great person who never asked for money, anything like that. So that started as a movie idea that my friend wanted to make. Mark Ralston, he's Shawshank Redemption, Aliens, what have you. But it changed this whole neighborhood's perception of what homelessness is. And as I got involved, I realized how much I was like a lot of these characters. And I started doing my research on substance abuse and homelessness and how hard it is for people to get off the streets that are struggling. That
sounds truly inspirational. But we're here for Supernova, guys. So, Charmed. Now, you've had, I love Charmed, sorry. You've had so many different characters within Leo himself. So, you know, you were an avatar, you know, white lighter, you've had your ups and downs, you're extremely depressed, extremely loving, you know, your character with Piper, with Holly Marie Combs, you guys went through ups and downs. What was it like being that character?
Yeah, Leo kind of went through it all. You know, just to have any role that lasted for, you know, more than a couple episodes on a television show is a true blessing. And then, you know, to be able to play on a magical show where we're able to play so many different characters is also something that, as an actor, you don't really get to do. When you're the cop, the doctor, the doctor. When you're Leo,
it can be anything.
You can be anything.
Yeah.
And, so as an actor, it was a great thing because you never quite knew what was going to happen and where you got to take it, whether you're a hippie or evil Leo or whatever it might be. So it was always fun.
How did you come across the role of Leo? Were you offered the role? Did you have to audition?
I had to audition. I had been auditioning quite a bit, and at the time I was doing construction. I was crawling under houses, retrofitting houses, doing roofing, electrical and stuff, and I had auditioned for another role on the show previously.
Can you tell us which role?
Yeah, it was for TW's role. I forget his name on the show, the cop. What's
Andy?
Andy, which I didn't get, thankfully. Yeah. And so when I came back for Leo, it's funny because he was, he's a handyman, and I'm like, well, I just crawled under a house. Like, I think I got this one. Yeah. But I went in, and you know, the hardest part was I had to leave the job site to go for an audition, which was, you know, I'm losing money. So when I went in, I was a little like, all right, I got to get back to work. And then they kept me there, and I had to go back later in the afternoon, so I had to call back to the job and say, hey, I'm, you know, and explain to them why I'm not going to make a full day's pay today, and chasing this darn acting thing. You know, at the end of the day, I wound up going in for Aaron Spelling, who I had met many a times, and you know, in his audition room, it's like a whole room, 20 people on one couch. It's very intimidating. And I said to him, I said, well, it's good to see you again. And he was like, oh, it's nice to meet you. Yeah. I was like, meet me? You met me like 50 times in my life. So it was really frustrating because here I was, you know, struggling and doing my thing, and nice to meet me. So all the kindness that I had earlier in the day and the fun immediately went away, and I was angry. And you know, I had just lost money, and now this guy doesn't know me, and I gave this reading that was like, rah, 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 rah. And I didn't even look at him, and I just walked out.
Yeah.
Like, forget this, I'm over it. And they called me a couple hours later and said, you got it. So, I mean,
it was just that all that internal emotion.
So ever since then, I've been trying to go into rooms and just be a jerk because it works.
It works?
I don't know.
I'll remember that for next time.
I don't know.
So you were saying that you were working already in construction, stuff like that, before you came along for the role for Leo. When did you actually get into acting?
Well, you know, in middle school and high school, I dabbled in drama and stuff, and I started taking acting classes outside of the school. But I really didn't give it much of an effort until after I did 1 year of college. I wanted to play soccer professionally, and I realized I was no, well, David Beckham or anything like that at that point. So I decided to give it a full effort and took a year off of school and just really, you know, started driving up to Los Angeles every day and dropping pictures and walking in rooms. And so, you know, once I gave it that effort and really committed to it, it wasn't long that I started working and, you know, things started happening.
That's it. I think definitely if you want a career in acting, you've literally got to just give it all up and give it your all. And
it is. And
you do need the income on the side until you make it, but if you do make it, because, you know.
It's like anything, becoming a doctor or whatever, I mean, it has to be 100% of your belief.
Absolutely.
And, you know, people always say, well, you need something to fall back on or this, and I just feel, you know, you're splitting your energy. It has to be 100%, you know, towards that goal. And, you know, I got lucky, I suppose.
And finally, what's it like to be part of such a phenomenal experience, like being in Supernova here for Charmed and all your other shows that you've been a part of, and just going out and meeting the fans? What is that like? And
it's a blessing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know, when I got into acting, I never even thought about fans or what. I just wanted to perform. So, I mean, I remember the first time I got recognized after a movie I did called Sleepwalkers came out. It was the next day, and these people on the street were like, "Oh my God, you're that guy from..." And I was like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's not me. Oh my God, don't talk to me. That's not me." Oh my God, people recognize me. Like, it was a whole new thing to think people actually recognize you. And so, as it's gone on, obviously, I'm a little more comfortable with it, but. You know, it was never really the main objective is to be famous. It was just work. You know, and so when fans come up or, you know, they come to Supernova to see us, you know, I just feel blessed that, you know, I was a part of a show, a part of creating a character that, you know, people could identify with, that they appreciate it. And, you know, it's just, I mean, I feel lucky and blessed. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and I'm thankful that you're here as a big fan myself, and I'm sure all the other fans are there are just as appreciative. So
well,
thank you,
that.
thank you, Brian.
Thank you.